Earlier today, Shawne Merriman said this. This offseason, everybody was talking about where Tom Brady was potentially going to end up at. It was the Raiders. It was the Chargers. It was the Niners. It was all these teams. It was come out now that the Colts were a place that Tom Brady's camp wanted to go. The Colts chose Phillip Rivers over Tom Brady. I mean, if you really look at it, that is kind of what Peter King laid out in his blog, is the Colts chose Phillip Rivers over Tom Brady. Why do you think they did that, especially being somebody who's so close to Phillip Rivers? And do you think that is ultimately going to be the right move in the end with Phil Rivers and the Colts?
Yes, because they're seeing this. The Colts are seeing the same thing that I've been saying the past few months, but everybody kind of pinned me as this Patriots hater, which I am, and I'm glad and proud of it. But at the same time, I'm just saying the truth. Right now, their stage of their careers, Phillip Rivers is a much better quarterback than Tom Brady physically. And I believe that he can go out and outperform Tom Brady right now in this stage of career. A lot of people you stick Tom Brady's name up there and you talk about just all these Super Bowls. I get it and I understand, but right now in their stage of career, somebody asked, and I'm not saying this because I played with Phillip and I have a relationship with him. I'm saying it because if I'm looking at two quarterbacks that I want the team to bring in, I'm saying, oh my God, I want Phil because I know that Phil can play physically better at a high level for the next couple of years. Tom Brady might be, make smarter decisions. Tom Brady might do a couple other things better, but as far as physically to go out and compete as a quarterback, Phillip Rivers is a better quarterback than Tom Brady, and that's why the Colts were higher on Phillip than they were on Tom.
Listen to that, AJ. Do you agree with what that man just said right there? That, by the way, obviously we're rerunning it because of how I did not think a lot of people thought that way, but Shawne Merriman, very good football player, feels that way. It should be listened to. I never thought anybody thought that Phillip Rivers was a much better quarterback than Tom Brady. Apparently, I might be wrong.
Yeah, I don't know. You don't hear a whole lot of people making the argument that Merriman just made earlier on your show, your radio show 10 to 12. It's a great show. I see a lot of clips, and sometimes I will watch it live and listen to it if I can. But, I mean, Merriman's awesome. Like the dude's a monster. I think he's really well-spoken. I've had him on different series shows I do. We've talked to him on here, I think, when I've been with you. I think he came on when I was hosting your show during the week, actually.
Really?
He did, pubbing his MMA company or whatever. But no, I mean, I don't know what he means. What does he mean by he can physically – yeah, Tom may make better decisions and be more accurate and win more games, but physically Phil is better right now. Like, what does that mean? If you want to compare how much, like, each of them, either quarterback has fallen off maybe from where their prime may have been, the peak of their career, I can't sit there and listen or just agree with the argument that Phil Rivers is in better shape or is more equipped to go win for the next 1 or 2 years.
I mean, and by the way, it came out this morning via Peter King in his Monday morning football talking column blog.
Nailed it.
Mm-hmm. America.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, you got to get that in.
Good morning.
Blog? Is it really a blog?
Well, I think because he's a big J journalist, it's considered a column. But to be honest, if it's on the internet and it's written, I call that shit a blog.
Well, then everything's a blog now because the only people getting the actual physical newspaper are like my parents' generation.
Losers. But anyways, Peter King's blog said that the Tom Brady camp was interested in the Indianapolis Colts, but the Indianapolis Colts seemed to be dead set on Phillip Rivers. So the Colts, in turn, said no to Tom Brady, yes to Phillip Rivers, knowing that Tom Brady was interested. And I am still taken aback by this 2-3 hours after hearing of this information. If Tom Brady wanted to come to your team, AJ, I think you would want Tom Brady on your team if you were not set at quarterback. And now that I'm hearing, the Colts, and I trust Chris Ballard. I think Chris Ballard has a big brain, big Southern brain. He's a good guy. I think he's done all that stuff. And there's no reason for me not to trust him. But he clearly looked Tom Brady, the greatest of all time, right in the face. Said, nah, we're getting this guy, Phillip Rivers. He's a little bit younger than you, I guess, by a couple years. He hasn't won nearly as many Super Bowls. And, yeah, it looks like he's struggling to throw every once in a while, but we're picking him over you for whatever reason. That's a mind blower to me. I did not expect that to happen. I did not expect that to be a case, and it is. That's the world we're living in.
If Tom Brady really wanted to come to Indianapolis, I guess let's think about it from, like, the contract. They gave Phil, 1 year, $25 million? Is that correct?
Yep.
And Tom got, about 2 years, $50 million pretty much with the Bucks, and he didn't get any of this power we were talking about last week on the show. You know, you were saying, they're going to give Tom full roster control. He's basically going to be the GM / quarterback. He can control everything he wants. And now it comes out that all he wanted was his teammates' phone numbers so he could reach out to them, which is like the most Tom Brady move ever.
Oh, yeah. You think that's the case? You don't think that's just strictly pandering? You don't think that is 100% pandering right there?
Who wrote that article? Who put that article out that said that's all he asked for?
I think
put it out first?
Tom's people released that to somebody, for sure. All Tom wanted was
haven't you heard stories like that about Tom? Like, that is Tom. Like, Matt Flynn was with the Patriots for camp one year, and he said even when he's like, honestly, like, I don't have a bad thing to say about the dude. He was the nicest dude ever. Came up, introduced himself to me day one. He said when I got cut, he sent me a text saying like, "Hey, I wish you could have spent more time around you. Good luck with everything you're doing." Like, that's Tom Brady.
He's the greatest. That's why the guy is the greatest. That's why you would want him in your building if you could. In the Colts, could have had him right down the street here. Could have been living right next door. And they said no to him. That's wild to me.
Could they have been able, like, would their contract situation, their cap situation, allowed them to give him 2 years, $50 million?
Oh, yeah. $25 million a year. That's what they're giving Phillip Rivers anyways. And they're paying Jacoby $21 million or something like that. They got $40-some million in quarterback hits if the roster remains the same going into the season as it is right now. Because unless they trade away Jacoby, they're going to have to pay them both at over $20 million. Could have easily had the greatest of all time in here. But you said, you know who I want? I would like Phillip Rivers over Tom Brady. That's what they said.
How would the fans of Indy have handled Tom Brady? Would they have handled Tom Brady easier than Phil Rivers to come in to be the next quarterback?
No. They would have hated him. They would have hated Tom Brady for sure until he does all the things that you said Matt Flynn says he does and throws some touchdowns and the team does good. Then they're all on the Tom Brady bandwagon. I mean, it's as easy as that. They're going to do it with Phil Rivers. There's some Colts fans that hate Phil Rivers like that because of what happened in 2007, 2008. But when he wins some games here, if he wins some games here, bang, they're going to love Phil Rivers. But if Phil Rivers struggles and Tom Brady dominates, and now the story and narrative is that the Colts could have potentially got Tom Brady. I mean,
I think it puts added pressure on Phil Rivers now that this story is out there. Phil's like, okay, I better play well, and I better play well early. We better come out of the gates hot and be 3-1, 4-0 right in the first quarter of the season.
Heck, these boys. Heck. The Colts did not do him any favors with the tweet they put out this morning. Did you see the tweet they put out?
What did it say?
Let's heckin' go or something like that with
an asterisk.
An asterisk on the E of hecking. They did. They were trying to play on the fact that he doesn't swear and stuff like that. But
hecking. Wait, I hear it's a heck of a locker room, and I know it's a heck of a team just from seeing them compete each year, especially these past couple with the new regime. Phillip Rivers. Let's hecking do this. Okay, Colts, Twitter, whoever is running that. Swing and a miss, huh?
Sometimes you're going to take a big old hack at something, and you're just going to miss. But I will say the Colts Twitter does better than it does worse. This one was tough, though. I think they were trying to sell, that he doesn't swear and he's upbeat and stuff like that. But you just so happen to put that out the exact same time the world was finding out that Tom Brady wanted to be the fucking quarterback of your team. That's tough. That is a tough – honestly,